Your scalp is not supposed to burn. It is not supposed to itch constantly, feel tight, or slowly lose hair year after year. Yet millions of people ignore these warning signs every single day. They blame age, genetics, stress, or bad luck. But the truth is far simpler and far more dangerous. Hair loss rarely begins at the hair. It begins with inflammation. When the scalp becomes chronically inflamed, something destructive happens beneath the surface. Blood circulation weakens. Nutrients struggle to reach the follicles. Oxygen levels drop. The follicle slowly shrinks, weakens, and eventually stops producing healthy hair. This silent process can take months or years. But once it begins, hair thinning becomes almost inevitable. What makes this problem even worse is that most people try to fix it with expensive shampoos, chemical treatments, and harsh products that irritate the scalp even more. They treat the symptom, not the cause. If inflammation is the fire destroying your hair follicles, then the real solution is simple. You must extinguish the fire. And one of the most powerful ways to do that starts with something incredibly simple: your morning tea. Across many long-living populations, morning rituals are not just habits. They are powerful daily health strategies. A warm cup of tea in the morning can do more than wake you up. When the right ingredient is added, it becomes a natural anti-inflammatory treatment for the entire body, including the scalp. The key lies in powerful plant compounds known as polyphenol and anti-inflammatory phytonutrients. These compounds help calm the immune system, reduce oxidative stress, and restore healthy blood flow to tissues, including the delicate network of blood vessels feeding your hair follicles. But there is one ingredient that stands out among them: turmeric. This golden spice has been studied for decades for its active compound curcumin, which has remarkable anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Chronic inflammation in the scalp can trigger follicle miniaturization, dandruff, itching, and even accelerate forms of hair thinning. Curcumin helps interrupt this inflammatory cycle. However, simply consuming turmeric is not enough. Curcumin alone is poorly absorbed by the body. Most of it passes through the digestive system without being used. That is why a simple addition makes all the difference. Black pepper. Black pepper contains a compound called piperine, which dramatically increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. When a small pinch of turmeric and black pepper is added to warm morning tea, the body suddenly becomes able to absorb and use these powerful anti-inflammatory compounds effectively. The result is not magic, it is biology. Over time, inflammation markers in the body can decrease, blood flow improves, oxidative stress is reduced, the scalp environment becomes healthier, calmer, and more supportive of strong follicles. But there is something important to understand. No single drink will regrow hair overnight. Hair follicles operate on slow biological cycles that take months to change. What matters is consistency. Small daily actions compound over time. The body responds to what you repeat every day. A simple morning tea with turmeric and black pepper becomes more than a drink. It becomes a daily anti-inflammatory signal to your body. But if you truly want to protect your scalp and your hair, you must go further. Reduce sugar spikes that fuel inflammation. Eat whole foods rich in antioxidants. Protect your scalp from harsh chemicals. Manage stress because stress hormones can worsen inflammatory responses. And nourish your body with nutrients that support circulation and follicle health. Healthy hair is not created by products. It is created by a healthy scalp, a calm immune system, and strong circulation. Ignore inflammation and the follicles slowly weaken. Control inflammation and the scalp environment begins to repair itself. So, tomorrow morning when you prepare your tea, do not treat it like an ordinary routine. Treat it like an opportunity to protect your body, calm inflammation, and support the roots that grow every strand of hair on your head. Small daily habits create powerful long-term results. Start tomorrow. Add the ingredient. Calm the inflammation. Support your scalp. Protect your hair. And most importantly, do not wait until the damage is visible. By then, the process has already been happening for years. Your health is built by what you do consistently. So begin today and give your scalp the environment it needs to grow strong, healthy hair again. Have you ever wondered why your scalp sometimes feels tight, itchy, or unusually sensitive even when you are using good shampoo and hair products? Many people immediately blame aging, stress, or genetics when they start noticing hair thinning. But what if the real problem is quietly happening underneath the surface of your scalp long before the hair begins to fall? Most people think hair loss begins at the hair strand. In reality, it often begins deep in the scalp with something far more subtle: inflammation. This process is silent, gradual, and easy to ignore in the early stages. You may notice small signs: mild itching, occasional redness, a warm or irritated feeling on the scalp, or flakes that appear even when you keep your hair clean. These signs are often dismissed as minor problems, but they can be early signals that the scalp environment is becoming unhealthy. Inside the scalp, thousands of tiny hair follicles depend on a delicate balance of blood flow, oxygen, and nutrients. When inflammation develops, the immune system begins releasing chemical signals meant to protect the body. However, when this response becomes chronic, it can begin to damage the surrounding tissues instead of protecting them. The small blood vessels that supply nutrients to the follicles start to narrow, slowing the delivery of oxygen and essential vitamins. Over time, this lack of nourishment causes hair follicles to weaken. Healthy follicles normally produce thick, strong hair strands, but inflamed follicles gradually shrink in a process known as follicle miniaturization. When this happens, the hair that grows from these follicles becomes thinner, shorter, and more fragile. Eventually, some follicles may stop producing visible hair altogether. Another important factor is oxidative stress. Environmental toxins, poor diet, excessive sugar consumption, and chronic stress can increase the number of free radicals in the body. These unstable molecules damage cells and trigger inflammatory reactions in the scalp tissue. As oxidative stress builds up, the scalp becomes an increasingly hostile environment for hair growth. The danger is that this process often develops slowly over years. By the time people notice significant thinning or increased hair shedding, the inflammation may have already been weakening the follicles for a long time. Because the scalp cannot easily be seen beneath the hair, many individuals fail to recognize the early warning signs until the damage becomes more visible and harder to reverse. Why do some people have thick, strong hair well into old age, while others begin noticing thinning, weak strands much earlier? Many assume the difference is purely genetic, but there is another powerful factor that often goes unnoticed: circulation. The health of your hair is deeply connected to the tiny network of blood vessels beneath your scalp. And when that circulation slows down, your hair follicles begin to struggle. Think about this for a moment. Every single hair on your head grows from a follicle that is alive. These follicles are not passive structures. They are biologically active mini organs that require a constant supply of oxygen, vitamins, minerals, and energy to function properly. All of these essential nutrients are delivered through the bloodstream. When circulation is strong, the follicles receive everything they need to produce thick, resilient hair strands. But what happens when that blood flow weakens? One of the first consequences is nutrient starvation. Without adequate circulation, key nutrients such as iron, zinc, biotin, amino acids, and essential fatty acids struggle to reach the follicle. These nutrients are the building blocks of keratin, the protein that forms the structure of hair. When the supply becomes inconsistent, the follicle can no longer produce strong hair fibers, and the strands that grow out become thinner and weaker. Reduced circulation also means lower oxygen delivery to the scalp. Oxygen is critical for cellular metabolism, the process through which cells generate energy. Hair follicle cells divide rapidly during the growth phase of the hair cycle, and this rapid activity requires significant energy. When oxygen levels drop, the follicles cannot maintain this high level of activity, causing the growth phase to shorten. As a result, hair grows more slowly and may fall out earlier than it should. Another hidden consequence of poor circulation is the buildup of waste products. Normally, blood flow helps carry away metabolic waste and toxins produced by cells. When circulation slows down, these waste materials can accumulate around the follicle environment, creating additional stress on the scalp tissue. Over time, this buildup can contribute to irritation, sensitivity, and even further inflammation. Several lifestyle factors can quietly reduce scalp circulation. Chronic stress causes blood vessels to constrict as part of the body's stress response. A sedentary lifestyle limits overall blood movement throughout the body. Poor diet, smoking, and excessive sugar intake can damage blood vessel health and impair the body's ability to maintain strong circulation to peripheral areas like the scalp. When the follicles are repeatedly deprived of oxygen and nutrients, they begin to weaken gradually. The hair strands produced become finer, less pigmented, and more fragile, reflecting the reduced support the follicle receives from its surrounding environment. What if the real enemy of your hair isn't what you see in the mirror, but something happening deep inside your cells every single day? Many people focus on external treatments, shampoos, oils, serums, and conditioners, hoping they will repair thinning hair. But an invisible process inside the body often plays a much larger role in the health of the scalp. Oxidative stress. To understand this, consider what happens inside your body during normal metabolism. Every time your cells produce energy, they also create unstable molecules called free radicals. In small amounts, these molecules are natural and even necessary for certain biological processes. But when free radicals accumulate faster than the body can neutralize them, they begin to damage cells, proteins, and DNA. This condition is known as oxidative stress. Now imagine this process happening in the delicate tissue of the scalp. Hair follicles are highly active biological structures. During the growth phase, follicle cells divide rapidly, producing the keratin that forms each strand of hair. This rapid activity makes follicles particularly vulnerable to oxidative damage. When excessive free radicals attack the cells surrounding the follicle, the tissue becomes irritated and inflamed. This is where antioxidants become critically important. Antioxidants are protective compounds that neutralize free radicals before they can damage healthy cells. They act like molecular shields, stabilizing these unstable molecules and preventing them from triggering harmful reactions within tissues. Without adequate antioxidant protection, free radicals can continue damaging scalp cells, weakening the environment where hair follicles must function. Several everyday factors can dramatically increase oxidative stress. Diets high in processed foods and refined sugars can accelerate free radical production. Environmental pollution introduces toxic particles that trigger inflammatory reactions in the body. Chronic stress elevates stress hormones that indirectly increase oxidative damage. Even prolonged sun exposure can contribute to oxidative stress affecting the scalp. When oxidative stress persists for long periods, it begins to alter the biological signals that regulate hair growth. Inflammatory pathways become more active, and the follicle environment gradually becomes less stable. The cells responsible for producing strong hair fibers may lose efficiency, leading to weaker hair strands that break easily or grow more slowly. Plant-based compounds known as polyphenol and flavonoids are among the most powerful natural antioxidants. These compounds are found in foods such as berries, green tea, turmeric, leafy vegetables, and many herbs and spices. Their role in the body is not only to neutralize free radicals, but also to support cellular repair and help calm inflammatory signals by reducing oxidative stress. Antioxidants help restore a healthier internal environment for the scalp tissue, allowing hair follicles to function under more balanced and protective conditions. Have you ever wondered why certain traditional spices have been valued for centuries not only for flavor, but also for healing? Some of the most powerful health-up-supporting compounds in nature are hidden in simple kitchen ingredients. One such compound has attracted enormous scientific attention for its ability to influence inflammation inside the body. Curcumin. Curcumin is the active compound found in turmeric, the bright golden spice widely used in traditional cooking and herbal practices. What makes curcumin so fascinating from a health perspective is its ability to interact with multiple biological pathways that control inflammation. Instead of targeting a single mechanism, curcumin works on several inflammatory signals at the same time. Inside the body, inflammation is regulated by a network of chemical messengers and enzymes that signal the immune system to react when tissues are injured or threatened. This response is useful when it is temporary, such as during infection or injury. But when inflammation becomes chronic, these same signals remain active longer than they should, slowly damaging surrounding cells and tissues. Curcumin has been shown to influence several of these inflammatory pathways. One of its key roles is helping regulate proteins that control the body's inflammatory response. By interacting with these molecular signals, curcumin can help reduce the production of certain inflammatory chemicals that contribute to tissue irritation. Now consider what happens in the scalp during chronic inflammation. Hair follicles sit within a delicate environment of skin cells, connective tissue, and tiny blood vessels. When inflammatory chemicals build up around this area, the follicle environment becomes unstable. The surrounding tissue may become irritated. Blood flow can become restricted, and the follicle cells responsible for producing strong hair fibers begin to function less efficiently. Curcumin's anti-inflammatory properties may help interrupt this cycle by reducing the intensity of these chemical signals. When inflammatory activity is lowered, the surrounding scalp tissue can begin to return to a more balanced state. This calmer environment allows blood vessels to function more normally and supports better delivery of oxygen and nutrients to the follicles. Another interesting property of curcumin is its antioxidant activity. In addition to influencing inflammatory signals, it can help neutralize free radicals that contribute to oxidative stress in the scalp tissue. This dual action, reducing both inflammation and oxidative damage, helps protect the cellular environment in which hair follicles operate. Researchers have also observed that curcumin may support healthier cellular communication, allowing tissues to repair themselves more effectively after periods of stress or irritation. This can be especially important in areas like the scalp, where cells must constantly regenerate to maintain healthy hair growth cycles. Here is a surprising question. What if one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory compounds you can consume is often wasted by the body before it even has a chance to work? Many people add turmeric to food or drinks believing they are receiving its full benefits. But the truth is far more complicated. The body has a difficult time absorbing curcumin, the main active compound in turmeric. In fact, when curcumin is consumed alone, only a very small percentage actually enters the bloodstream. Most of it passes through the digestive system without being fully utilized. This means the powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant potential of turmeric may remain largely untapped unless something helps the body absorb it more efficiently. This is where a small but remarkable ingredient becomes extremely important: black pepper. Black pepper contains a natural compound called piperine. Although black pepper is commonly used simply to enhance flavor, piperine has a powerful biological effect inside the body. Researchers discovered that piperine can significantly increase the absorption of certain nutrients and plant compounds, including curcumin. How does this happen? When curcumin enters the digestive system, the body quickly attempts to break it down and eliminate it. Piperine slows down this metabolic process by influencing specific enzymes in the liver and intestines by temporarily slowing the breakdown of curcumin. Piperine allows more of it to remain available for absorption into the bloodstream. Scientific studies have shown that combining curcumin with piperine can increase curcumin absorption dramatically, sometimes by up to 20 times or more compared to curcumin alone. This means that a simple pinch of black pepper can transform turmeric from a mildly beneficial ingredient into a far more potent anti-inflammatory compound. Once absorbed into the bloodstream more effectively, curcumin can circulate throughout the body and reach tissues that need support, including the scalp. This improved absorption allows its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties to have a stronger biological impact on the cellular environment surrounding hair follicles. Better absorption means a greater ability to influence inflammatory signals, support healthier blood flow, and reduce oxidative stress that may be affecting scalp health. Without proper absorption, even the most powerful plant compounds may struggle to deliver their full benefits. What makes this combination particularly interesting is its simplicity. Turmeric and black pepper are both common kitchen ingredients that have been used together in traditional cooking for centuries, long before modern science began studying their biological interactions. Why do some people try countless hair products yet continue to struggle with thinning hair, while others maintain healthier hair with relatively simple routines? The difference often lies in something most people underestimate: daily habits. Hair health is not determined by one treatment, one supplement, or one product. It is shaped by the small actions repeated every single day. Hair follicles follow biological cycles that operate slowly and consistently. Each follicle moves through phases of growth, rest, and shedding. These cycles are influenced by the overall condition of the body in nutrition, circulation, stress levels, and inflammatory balance. Because these processes develop gradually, the habits practiced day after day have a powerful cumulative effect on scalp health. Consider nutrition first. Hair follicles require a steady supply of proteins, vitamins, and minerals to produce strong strands. Keratin, the structural protein that forms hair, is built from amino acids obtained through the diet. Without adequate protein intake, the body prioritizes essential organs over hair production, meaning follicles may receive fewer resources for maintaining thick hair fibers. Micronutrients are equally important. Iron supports oxygen transport in the blood. Zinc plays a role in tissue repair, and biotin helps regulate the metabolic pathways involved in keratin production. When daily nutrition lacks these nutrients, follicles may enter weaker growth phases, producing hair that is more fragile and prone to breakage. Stress management is another critical factor that people often overlook. Chronic stress triggers the release of hormones such as cortisol, which can influence inflammatory processes and disrupt the natural hair growth cycle. Under prolonged stress, more follicles may enter the resting phase of the cycle prematurely, leading to increased hair shedding weeks or even months later. Sleep also plays a major role in the body's ability to repair tissues. During deep sleep, the body releases growth hormones that help regenerate cells and support tissue recovery. Poor sleep patterns can interfere with these restorative processes, affecting the health of scalp tissues and follicles over time. Physical activity contributes to better circulation throughout the body, including the scalp. When blood flow improves, more oxygen and nutrients can reach the follicles. Even moderate daily movement can support healthier vascular function and enhance the delivery of nutrients necessary for maintaining strong hair growth. Hydration, scalp hygiene, and avoiding excessive chemical treatments also influence the long-term environment in which follicles operate. Harsh styling products, excessive heat, and repeated chemical exposure can irritate scalp tissues and weaken hair structure, gradually undermining follicle